Welcome back to another episode of the Pin High Podcast. It's episode 122. This week, the boys talk about Sepp Straka's come from behind win at the Honda, talk about some more golf news, get ready for the Arnold Palmer Invitational by making some picks and bets. Let's get into it.
This is Jordan Spieth here, and
this is the Pin High Podcast.
All right, let's get inside the ropes. So, Sepp Straka comes from behind the win at the Honda. Can't say I saw that one coming going into the week. He started off, the final round 5 back. He actually made a bogey on the first hole, so that puts him 6 back with 17 to play, and he gets it done. Was really sharp ball striking, led the field in ball striking last week, and gets his first PGA Tour win.
First Austrian to win a PGA Tour event too, which is pretty cool.
First time that's ever happened on tour. An Austrian winning an event. It's the first time winner in the last 5 weeks. I think Neiman was the only non-first time winner. So we have a lot of first time winners coming up. Maybe we'll have another one this week. Will Zalatoris, maybe we're talking to you. Just was an unreal final round for Sepp Straka. He just was so on the whole time. And it was really good to see.
I didn't see the end. I saw Shane Lowry. He was 1 back, right? Am I wrong on the last hole? But he had some issue. Like it started pouring on his last hole, but not Straka. Like Straka was ahead of him.
Straka finished this tournament at the perfect time. Straka finished like right before it started pouring out, and then the final 2 groups, it's just pouring rain, like so much. Kurt Kitayama was on the 18th fairway, and I think he needed an eagle or something, and he just was holding off, trying to wait until the rain stopped. But then the rules officials are like, "You gotta go! Like you have, like he's on the fairway on 18. They're like, you have to
do anything about it."
And Daniel Berger and Shane Lowry tried the same tactic on the tee, but like they were getting to the point where it's like, you got to go too, or else we'll start like taking strokes and stuff. So, which is annoying. Like I think they played it out kind of wrong. I think they should have delayed it for 15 minutes, because it's kind of unfair that Sepp Straka got to play this final hole with no rain at all, and you have Daniel Berger and Shane Lowry on the tee needing eagle and birdie to tie the lead, and they have to hit in the pouring rain. Obviously, if the club face gets wet or the ball gets wet, like that changes what happens. And I think that's what happened with Shane Lowry on the tee. He wanted to tee off, he wanted to hit the ball, and it went way left. So it looks like he hit it fine.
I saw the shot tracer on like the PGA Tour, like the app, where they show like the 2 balls, like Straka's ball is like 280, 300 down the middle, and Lowry's like 250, like short of the bunker on the left. Like it's a huge, and like in the rough, and it's pouring. Like he made some comment about it. I don't know, the whole obviously it's kind of, they shouldn't have had a delay. Like that's like, unless like there was like puddling on the green, something like that, they wouldn't have had a delay. Like they're like, it's just like kind of unfortunate that it happened like in those last 2 groups. Like it's kind of like the whole, like one day at the Masters, it might be perfectly calm weather in the morning, and then in the afternoon there's like rain and thunderstorms, or rain and wind, but they still play. Like it's just like the luck of the draw almost.
Yeah, like, but I mean, on the 18th hole, you have plenty of time to sit there. I mean, except for the network, but whatever. They would have pushed the golf channel anyway.
They would have loved that.
Plenty of time to just
Daniel Berger's sitting there. Daniel Berger's sitting there for like a half an hour, just waiting to hit a shot. How funny would that be?
I mean, whatever. I mean, Daniel Berger ended up with his ball in the middle of the fairway. He goes up for his next shot. He needs eagle at this point, so like it was kind of an outside shot, but like he had a chance. And his ball goes way right after he hits it out of the fairway.
The water?
Into the water. I think he ended up making bogey or double bogey on the final hole.
Still,
it cost him $325,000. Him playing in the rain there, even if he just got on the green and made par.
I don't even, like, Daniel Berger has no excuse. Like he started the day with a five shot lead. If he plays around even par, he wins the tournament, and he 4 over in the first like 5 holes, something like that. Like I just kept seeing him, like all of a sudden for like however long, we're like, all right, Daniel Berger's going to win this golf tournament. I think I saw in Data Golf, he had an 85% chance to win to start the round. And then he's after an hour, like hour and 10 minutes, he's tied for the lead. He's 3 over, 4 over par, and 4 or 5 holes. Like I don't, that's not something I don't think anyone obviously expected that to happen.
Yeah, I mean, if you take Daniel Berger, I think he was 10 under after the second round. And he says, like, usually this tournament ends around 10 under. That's what I was expecting the winning score to be. And like, he kind of thrilled to be 10 under through 2 rounds. And the winning score, sure enough, 10 under for Sepp Straka, and Daniel Berger plays 2 or 3 over the next 2 days combined. So
he was plus 6.1 strokes gained in the first round, 3.1 in the second, and then all the way to the, and like 3.1 in the first and second. Actually, yeah, I don't know. I'm getting that. Sorry, no, 6.1 in the first, 6.4 in the second, 3.1 in the third, and then in the fourth round, it was negative 3.8 strokes gained total in the event, which is, that's crazy to think about how he played that well for 2 days or 3 days basically, and then it all comes crashing back down to earth.
Yeah, and then meanwhile, Sepp Straka was just a ball striking machine all Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think he was plus 4.6 in strokes gained tee to green, so he was just striking the ball about as well as you could strike it. And like when he gets going, he's a very good golfer and he strikes the ball very well. Kind of a University of Georgia takeover lately. A lot of Georgia golfers out there. I mean, even in the end, Chris Kirk had another good week last week. He's also a Georgia guy. Keith Mitchell has been playing really well, big Georgia guy. I mean, the Georgia guys are kind of taking over. And whatever, like Sepp Straka is a funny story because I believe they moved to Texas when, was it Texas? Maybe Texas. He moved to the United States from Austria when he was about 14. He has a twin brother. And the twin brother was like the big golf recruit. He got recruited to Georgia, and Sepp Straka was kind of like the tag on. I mean, still a very good golfer, but not, he probably wouldn't have been at Georgia if he didn't have a twin brother. And then it kind of flipped in college where Sepp Straka became like the superstar and his brother was just like, okay. I think you see his brother on some mini tours and stuff, but yeah, I mean, interesting story for Sepp Straka, first Austrian to win on the PGA Tour. I feel like that's kind of enough said there.
Is that the best brother tandem on tour, or is it only one I can think of is the Koepkas?
I mean, I would probably say the Koepkas because I don't think his brother's really like on tour. I think his brother played one PGA Tour event like back a couple years ago.
How's Chase Koepka doing? Like, I feel like he's not really. He's one day qualifying for some of these events. I'm sure,
yeah, but how's Brooks Koepka doing? He's number.
Yeah, no, that's also
in the world.
That's also very different. Yeah, Chase Koepka. He played this week. He missed the cut, but
yeah, I mean, his brother is listed as a real estate agent now, so he's given up on the dream, I guess.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, so good for Sepp Straka. You know, I kind of like to see first time winners every week. It's a little boring when the same guy wins every week. I mean, the field wasn't totally strong last week, but
no, it was a terrible
Daniel Berger kind of faltering on Sunday made the final stretch very interesting, and the final stretch in the pouring rain was just even more interesting. Love it when a tournament comes down to the bear trap and you know, a player needs to shoot well on those 3 holes and 18 to win the tournament. So
the Honda should make the bear trap into like kind of like what they need to like market it more. Like the waste management. Yeah, it used to be like, this used to be a bigger tournament, but now it's like smashing between Riv and Arnold Palmer, and the players is right after that. It's like they just get like the short end of the stick.
Right.
When it comes to players like flying cross country and then don't want to play in this thing.
Yeah, they have 2 like short, small fields like in between this tournament, 2 exclusive tournament.
Yeah.
Like the big players just don't really want to play in this event. It's unfortunate because I think the golf course is a pretty good golf course. Again, like you don't see the lowest scores out there, and it is a challenge. And I would like to see the best players in the world play this golf course, but they don't really want to.
Yeah.
Unless you're Daniel Berger or Brooks Koepka, where you're like, you grew up right around the corner. But other than that, like.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you're no one's like, it's gonna be hard to fly across country, and like you don't want to do that. And then because that means you're playing 4 weeks in a row because you're playing Arnold Palmer and the players after this, and then
I think there
but
might be. Is there a
you can't really do it
WGCF
after
for the
you can't
players?
really do it after the players because people will take off after the players. Like it's just a weird. It's unfortunate, like you said. Like the bear trap could be something like a main, like it was a few years ago. I feel like a big deal, and now it's. I think if they marketed it more and made it like almost like this is what like tournaments need to kind of follow the waste management approach, like maybe not to that degree, but just market like make it so that the bear trap, like those par threes are like super fun, like big crowds, like you
Yeah, I mean,
gotta.
I don't think there's like space there to really
No,
do,
there's
because
not.
I've been there and like I've played there, and it's just like there's not a lot of space behind those holes, like especially 15. Like there's nothing really behind that to have like a big crowd. So
Yeah,
I don't think there's space for that. I mean, they are a fun 3 holes. That is a fun place to go if you're looking to go on a trip. I think they have 3 golf courses there.
I know.
But
I went there. I played the Arnold Palmer course when I went there. I went to the Honda Classic.
right.
Uh, and yeah, it's a PGA National, like that. Like that's something that should be a big deal. Going to PGA National play tour event, and obviously with the schedule, they just kind of get screwed over, to say the
Yeah,
least.
it does, which is unfortunate, but it is
Yeah,
what it is. A bunch of good tournaments coming around. The players have to kind of choose one that they're not going to play. So
yeah,
that's what
which
it
they
is.
would.
So yeah, moving on. Phil Mickelson losing some more sponsors this week. He's pretty much lost all of his sponsors. Cowboys decided to take a break. We mentioned he lost, who did he lose? Workday last week. He lost,
KPMG.
yeah, and he's not hosting a tournament anymore.
Yeah, the
It's just,
Amex is not hosting anymore.
yeah, it's just he's kind of lost all of his sponsors. You didn't really get, you weren't on the podcast last week, so you didn't get your like take on this. So I'm curious to see like what do you think about Phil
I
Mickelson at the moment?
it's I don't remember his comments exactly, but the whole thing was like I'm sorry, but at the same time I'm not sorry for saying what like for what he was saying, which again like it's not like it's he didn't really say anything bad. It's just like he's like saying like this is a once in a lifetime opportunity for leverage for the PGA Tour, but you're saying that you want to create leverage, and you're working with the Saudi government trying to create that leverage. And he says, like, I know they killed the reporter, I don't remember his name, but this is a once in a lifetime opportunity to create some leverage and more money for players on tour. Like that's like that just doesn't, that's not morally, ethically responsible from Phil.
And do you think it's within the sponsor's right to start saying like I don't want to be associated with this guy anymore?
Yeah, well, what happened with like Tiger at the same thing? Like people like cut off from Tiger, like Nike didn't, and obviously it
Worked
worked
out for
out for
them.
them.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it's unfortunate that also the fact that like we see it, like we know what's going on. Like people like that are out of touch, like with either maybe with like Twitter or like the golf news. Like they'll still see Phil as like oh like I love Phil, like I would love to go, I'll go watch Phil, but like us, just like we kind of see him as like in this different view, and it's it feels different than Tiger. But I mean, I was too we were I wasn't into golf as much as when Tiger, when all the Tiger stuff happened, but this just seems like it's for our generation, we're going to view Phil very, very, very differently. And also, I heard this, like I saw this somewhere. It almost seemed like Phil was talking like about this, like he has like no money, which like who knows what that like who knows what's involved with, like if he's been gambling, if he's just like spent it all. Like I don't know, what the deal with, I don't know what the deal with that is, but like he sounded like he's like desperate to go and do this tour, and he's just, and it's like the things you're saying is like it don't make sense. They're I don't know. The whole thing is it's crazy.
Doesn't feel like real life.
No,
At
it
this
doesn't.
moment, like Phil has kind of been outed from the tour. Like this is Phil Mickelson, like one of the most beloved golfers of our time, probably, and
Mhm.
he's been outed by the tour. Everybody's kind of off of him. I don't know if you'll see him play on the tour again. I mean, the Masters might give you indication if he's going to play again or not. Um,
If he wants more money, he could literally go on this Champions Tour and win every event for like a year. Like based off the
right,
way
yeah,
his odds were working and like the
exactly.
way he was playing like on Champions Tour events, like he's so much. He won the PGA last year. Like he's so much better than those guys on Champions Tour probably, or like better to a certain degree. Like he could, like if he wants more money, just play the Champions Tour events and like get like do your little like do the match every now and then. And like he also made a comment about the match, like how like they didn't pay him for the match, or he had to pay out of his own pocket for the match, something like that, like which was not true at all.
Mhm.
Like so much of it was I don't even know. It just and Rory's comments. I'm sure you talked about it last week. Like
Yeah.
it's like I don't want to knock a guy while he's down, but this is sad, like greedy, like he's I don't know, unaware, all this stuff, and I think that echoes a lot of what players feel about Phil right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, you do gotta wonder what's going on behind the scenes. Like, as
Yeah,
you mentioned, like, is he gambling all of his money away, or
yeah, who knows?
is he looking to be paid more based on like him being probably one of the top 5, even top 2 faces in the game of golf right now? Is he looking to be paid like that as if he was an NFL player, for example?
Which
Because
is
these
like
$100 million contracts.
like that's very fair of him to do, but like and I don't know, like he still gets, I'm sure he gets so much money, or he got so much money from endorsements, and like he made, I don't even know his career earnings were like millions and millions of dollars in career earnings on the PGA Tour. And like, yeah, I get like some guys like the whole Charlie Hoffman thing, where like some guys who like deserve to get more money just because of that. But it's and like Phil wants to hold his own media rights, but like in the NBA, the players don't hold their own media rights. Like that
Right.
doesn't happen in any sports league. It's the comments he was saying are just so outlandish and ridiculous that it just changes everyone's perception of him, which is
Yeah,
who
I know.
knows
I'm
what's going to happen in the
curious to
future.
see what's next here. How he kind of digs himself out of this hole if he's
Did
able
you
to
see
dig himself out of this
what
hole.
Greg Norman's comments about the thing?
What,
But
the one
the
that he said that this is not over and that he pretty much
Yeah,
sent a letter to the PGA Tour.
yeah. I didn't read the whole thing. I saw, but I think the first line says like, is like, yeah, this is not the end. This is only the beginning. But
I mean, whatever. He's out there too, but like he's like the head of this breakaway
yeah,
golf league. So like they're trying to make him the commissioner and all that stuff. He says like surely you just and
yeah,
surely
yeah.
your lawyers at the PGA Tour must be holding their breath. It's just and then he goes on to say like this isn't over. You can't ban the players from golf. The money talks. Da,
Oh my
da, da.
gosh.
Like it's just
Which is,
it's
I
all
think it's true. Like I think it's far from over, but Phil, what Phil said kind of killed everything. And then Bryson goes on out of nowhere to say like my schedule only comes from me. Like he didn't even like players were mentioning the PGA, like my commitment, like I'm committed to the PGA Tour. I'm committed to this. Like Xander, Rams, I'm committed to the PGA Tour. Rory, Bryson doesn't even mention the PGA Tour in his post. He says like my schedule will come directly from me. Well, no, like this was like no one even really thought about Bryson for like a couple like weeks at this point, just because of the whole Phil thing, and it was weird timing for sure.
yeah. I mean, I saw a tweet the other day. I don't have the exact numbers here, but we're I think about 40% done with the PGA season already at this point.
That's
And
crazy.
Bryson's only played in 3 events. Dustin Johnson has only played in like 4 events. and Phil Mickelson's only played in a handful of events. Those were your three like pillars for the Saudi Golf League. So
Well,
like
Dustin
they're
Johnson
obviously not,
committed to it too.
yeah. So they're
He
obviously
committed to the
not
PGA
like,
Tour.
you're obviously not like, there was something going on there, because obviously, I mean, Bryson's been hurt, but like he also hasn't been playing in a lot of events like before he got hurt. So there is something going on there. Like maybe they're not positioning themselves in the FedEx Cup because they knew that they were going to bounce to this league midway through the season after the Masters or something like
Yeah.
that. And that all fell apart. And now you have Bryson, who's like 150 in the FedEx Cup standings, Dustin Johnson, who's like 180 in the FedEx Cup standings, and then Phil is probably just not going to play. So now they have to get back in it, and like you can move up the FedEx Cup standings pretty quick. If you just get one win, you end up in the top 10 at the moment. But
one more comment about DJ.
that.
It's like once he said something at Riviera, like that felt like it was the domino that started to fall of everyone else saying, like, and Rory too, kind of saying I'm fully committed to the PGA Tour. What I found was funny was like Bryson was saying, like, he's like, I'm not gonna. I think someone had mentioned that he wasn't gonna play in like PGA Tour events anymore. Like he had said that, or someone close to him had said that, reported that, and then he was gonna try to play in the Arnold Palmer this week. Like it's kind of cool. Is it a coincidence, the timing of that, or is it not? Like we won't know, but it sounds like it's almost like, okay, like you're like, this thing fell apart. Like now you're gonna come back to the PGA Tour. It's just interesting timing for sure.
Yeah, I mean, let's move on to that for a second. If you can't tell by my background, if you're watching on YouTube, or if you see my hat, and that fact that Patrick's not here, he's at the Arnold Palmer Invitational.
Yep.
That's the tournament that's this week. Patrick's helping set up, but Bryson's not going to play. He's the defending champ, and he's out this week. Now he has been hurt. He's been recovering for an injury. I'm wondering, like, is this injury that bad, or if he's just holding out, just kind of let the press go down? Because the moment he gets back, he's gonna have to answer the questions about the Saudi Golf League and all that stuff. Or is he really hurt, and should we be worried about his injury? Because we all know how much he trains.
I think he's hurt. Like, I'm not denying that he's hurt. I think he actually is hurt, but I think it's a little. It is, like, from an outsider's view, it looks a little sus in terms of, okay, now I'm my schedule will come directly for me. I wasn't going to play in PGA Tour events, but now I'm committed to the Arnold Palmer. But I'm pulling out again because of an injury. Like, it seems like he's almost like pushing it off, like you said, like just pushing off like the media. I'm assuming we'll see him at the Players.
Yeah, he'll have to play in the Players.
Yeah, I think that seems like a logical place for him to come back, and maybe he says there, like, my wrist is like he has some wrist issues at the tournament too. But I'm not worried about it at all. Like, I'm not worried about him. We just don't know what's going to come next, right?
I just
we
I
don't know
don't
what's
want
going next with him, Saudi, and everything like that.
Right. I mean, a wrist injury is tough. Like, you could ask Jordan Spieth about it. He didn't really
Yeah.
make it public until last year, but that kind of derailed his career for a couple of years. And then the other injury that he had was a back injury. And I mean, ask Tiger Woods, ask Jason Day. Like, a back injury is the worst injury you could have in golf. And Bryson has had a wrist injury and a back injury this year. And whatever, he's been relatively healthy the last couple of years, but you have to wonder, does he train a little bit too hard? And will this end up kind of being the end of Bryson if he gets injured all the time? I mean, you don't know, but
I think he'll be fine. I just think he's like, and like, I would not be surprised at all if he's like I'm taking my time, getting ready for this. I'm taking my time, healing. I'm not saying he's not injured at all. It just seems kind of, it's Bryson says a lot of crazy things, so you never really know what's gonna happen next with him. Like, we have no idea. Like, he could say next week, like, I'm out for like the rest of the year. Like, who knows? Like, we really have no idea.
Right. Yeah, and then lastly, the other big news this week, your guy Zach Johnson, Ryder Cup captain 2023. Iowa guy. What do you think about that?
I'm not really. It's not really something that pumps me up. too much about the Ryder Cup, but it's like oh yeah, yeah, it's cool. Like I'm looking forward. I think it'll be fun to see. I'm just not really. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I like him. He's a good guy. He's fun. My grandma plays bridge with him. Bridge was his mom every week. It'll be fun to see him where's that's at oh no next year at in Rome.
Yes, in Rome.
Okay, yeah. I don't know who the European captain is. I don't remember who it is.
It's Luke Donald. Luke Donald.
Maybe that
sounds about right. Luke Donald sounds right.
It doesn't get me fired up.
Will be a Ryder Cup captain.
Oh, he will 100%.
I saw a tweet today saying that Zach Johnson was looking for a spot on the range. Just went right next to Ian Poulter, right in front of him the day after he gets announced as the Ryder Cup captain, and just so Ian Poulter could see him on the range.
ZJ's gonna be really corny. He has experience though as like an assistant captain at Hazeltine, and I don't know if he was at Paris, but he was there this year too. Like he's kind of like a corny dude, but I think he'll be like, as long as he takes like the right approach, like the stricter approach of like getting like basically like bringing the whole team back together from this year, like he'll be fine.
Right. I mean, they're kind of rotating the same guys now. I feel like as far as like captains and assistant captains. I mean, then again, we just talked about Phil, and like Phil
probably won't. He probably won't be a Ryder Cup captain anymore.
Yeah, he probably won't. Like he was a lock to be a Ryder Cup captain.
Oh yeah, at Bethpage probably.
Years, yeah, and you might not see Phil, and then like who knows with Tiger? I mean, I'm sure Tiger will be a Ryder Cup captain, but like who knows? Who knows with Tiger? It's just you never know. So it is interesting. I mean, a couple other guys, I guess snubs. I guess Fred Couples probably should have been a Ryder Cup captain by now, but maybe we'll see him at some point. But yeah,
bring Anthony Kim back. That'd be electric.
Bring him back for
Bethpage. Oh my god, that'd be so fun.
Who knows where he is right now?
Yeah, like Taiwan or something like that.
Yeah. So that's kind of all we got for this week. Want to get into skins?
Yeah.
But first, shout out to Roback. If you click the link in our bio and add anything to your cart, you get 15% off performance polos, hats, quarter zips, and more. Trev's wearing the sweatshirt, which is really nice. So click the link in our bio or in the description and go get yourself some Roback stuff. So let's get into skins. All right, skins. We have the Arnold Palmer Invitational this week at Bay Hill. Pat's there setting up. So we have a on-course correspondent this week. He's out there giving us all the inside scoops. Apparently he was having lunch with Max Homa today. So I told him, ask him to come on the pod. But
he got COVID from Marco Mira apparently.
Oh yeah, apparently Marco Mira withdrew of COVID and shook Pat's hand this morning. So yeah, that's interesting. We'll keep you updated on that one. Yeah, but Bay Hill, it's a par 72. It's 74-19 yards. It's Bermuda greens. And Pat has confirmed the rough is pretty tough this week. It's not like super, super high, but it's very like lush. And it's just, you don't want to be in the rough this week. It's going to be hard to be in the rough. And then second week in a row, lots of water. There's water kind of with these dog legs and stuff. Yeah, water balls are going to be pretty high this week. Maybe not as high as last week. I think they were up around 350 water balls last week. So, but there still will be a lot of water balls this week. And because of those dog legs with the water, the course kind of plays longer than the distance it measures. So a lot of positional golf, a lot of direct lines over the side of the water. It's a pretty tough course.
It's very tough. I mean, playing on the PGA Tour video game is even tougher.
I actually did play it a couple of days ago just to scout it out. The best thing to scout golf courses. Players are gonna lay up kind of to stay dry, I think, or there's the Bryson method, take the longest route you possibly.
Yeah, I'm sad we're not gonna see that.
Yeah,
like as much as Bryson's like polarizing and like all this stuff, like seeing him drive it over the water like that and like raise his hands up in the air, like that was the peak of that week.
Right.
Like that was so much fun.
I mean, there'll be some aggressive lines. Rory usually takes those pretty aggressive lines. And then just like there is a lot of different options as well. So like for an example, the par 5 sixth hole, that's a very equalable hole, but could also yield some pretty high scores. John Daly famously shot an 18 in 1998 on that hole. So you really go for it and you try, you could hit it in the water on the tee shot, and then you could hit it in the water on the approach shot after that.
I remember Emiliano Grillo chucking his club in the water.
Yep. It's produced over 20 scores in double digits since 1983. So, and like PGA Tour players do not shoot in the double digits on a hole very often. Amateur golfers don't shoot in the double digits on a hole very often.
Mm-mm.
So that just tells you how hard it could be if you don't pull it out, if it gets in your head. In 2019, there was 239 water balls at this golf course. So a lot of water balls. Like I said, maybe not as much as last week, but still. And then the greens usually play lightning fast. So I would look at strokes gain approach, maybe proximity from 200, because I think the stat was about a third of the approaches will come from over 200 yards, just because of these layups and dog legs. And then par threes gain 200 to 225. The par three average is 215 yards. Played it on the PGA video game. Some pretty long par threes. And then the previous 5 winners, you had Bryson at 11 under last year, Tyrrell Hatton at 4 under the year before, so that was a tough week. Molinari 12 under, Rory 18 under, Mark Leishman 11 under, Jason Day 17 under. So some pretty big names winning this tournament in recent years.
Right, you won 4.3 units over 3 units last week.
Yeah. So recap the skins from last week. I ended up on top. I had a couple tough weeks coming into last week, but I won all my bets except for my outrights. So I had a Lucas Glover in the top 40. I think he finished T32. I had Daniel Berger top 20, which was never in doubt after the first round. Keith Mitchell in that 3-ball. Trev also had that bet. That was such a good bet. Pat, when I said that bet last week, Pat was like, ooh. And I was like, oh yeah, Trevor has it too. So we both won that one. Yeah, and then my outrights didn't really hit. And then yeah, you just won that one bet. So it's still a tough time at the moment right now for Trev trying to get up in the skins. Once you start chasing,
it's hard. It's really hard.
And then Pat ended up 1.88 units. He lost all of his outrights. He lost Sig top 20 and Ustays in top 20 or top 40, and Ustays in top 20. He had the Koepka top 30, like I mentioned earlier. Chris Kirk played well, top 40. Noren played well. Keith Mitchell and Chase Seifert out of nowhere, top 40. Pat got that one right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I ended up winning the skins last week, so I guess I will go first. So this week, I mentioned Rory Mcilroy a little bit earlier. He did win this tournament in 2018 at 18 under. That's pretty low score for this golf course. So I'm going to pick Rory again outright. He's plus 1,200. I'm going to have half a unit to win 6 units on that one. He just has one of the best scoring averages here at the Arnold Palmer. I think it's, what is it? Average finish is 9.1, and he's played this event the last 7 years. So he's finished in the top 10 almost every time. T10, T5, T6, won in 2018, T4, T27, T11. So Rory is kind of a course horse at this golf course, and then I'm just gonna go with him outright. I like Rory this week. I think he's gonna have a pretty good year. You know, we got to get a win under his belt before the Masters. So
yeah, he's this is his warm-up week before the Masters, and then he goes to the Players, and then wins the Players, and then goes to the Masters and wins that.
Yeah, the year of Rory maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and just in case Rory doesn't win, finishes in second, I also have him top 10 at plus 110. I'm getting weird with my units, but 0.91 units to win one. So yeah, my units got a little weird this week, but is what it is. And then I have Victor Hovland outright as well. I'm going to put a quarter of a unit to win 4.5 on that. He doesn't have the best form at this tournament, but he's been blazing hot this year. I think it's time for Victor Hovland to get a win on American soil. It's bound to happen. He's got to fully break the Puerto Rico curse.
It'll be a Monday. Well, this is perfect. He should. This is destiny, because the Puerto Rico Open is this week.
Yes.
This is destiny.
Yeah, correct. The Puerto Rico Open is happening this week. Maybe we'll throw some picks in later. And then I'm going to stay on the Keith Mitchell bandwagon. So I'm going to go Keith Mitchell top 20 plus 150. I'm going to put 1.09 units to win 1.63. So we're getting back to normal units here after this. Pretty good form as of late. He has 2 finishes inside the top 10 at Bay Hill. As we mentioned last week, he played really well. I'm on the Keith Mitchell bandwagon this year. I think he's going to win a tournament soon. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he won like a big tournament, like the Players.
I like he's good. He's really good in Florida, which is
good Florida golfer. And then I'm gonna go back to the 3-ball since the 3-ball was good last week. I'm gonna pick Christian Bezuidenhout plus 175 in a 3-ball versus Sergio Garcia and Tommy Fleetwood, 1 unit to win 1.75. He finished solo 7th last year, T18 the year before that. He's played pretty well this year, except for at the Genesis Invitational. He was T25 last week, T14 at Pebble Beach. I mean, Tommy Fleetwood's fared well, but he also got cut in 2020 at this tournament, and I think he got cut last week as well, which was a little bit of a disappointment because he was the lowest scoring average at the Honda Classic. So to get cut was kind of annoying, especially since I had him outright, I think. And Sergio hasn't played in this tournament since 2013, so not a lot of familiarity for him. And then my last pick, I'm going to pick Taylor Gooch, top 40, minus 115, 1.25 to win 1.09. He's been inside the top 30 2 out of 3 times he's played here, and he's just having a really good season. So that'll round out my bets.
A lot of crazy bets. You and Pat have like just a ton of just weird numbers and everything.
I mean, I just was getting weird with the units, and then I was looking for scouring for better odds, and then it didn't quite really work out. So
yeah,
like I had Gooch at minus 125, I think it was. So it was like 1.25 to win 1, but then I found them for better, so to win 1.09. I guess Pat came in second place this week, plus 188. So I guess I'll relay Pat's picks right now. He has a lot of winners. So we'll start with the winners. He has 4 outright winners this week. So one of them is Sungjae M plus 2,900. He has a quarter of a unit to win 7.25. I think Sungjae M's been good at this tournament as well. I haven't done the full research on him, but yeah, 9th place scoring average, T21, solo 3rd, and T3rd the last 3 years of this tournament.
Pretty good.
So Pat backs him to win. He also has his guy, Corey Connors, plus 5,500, 0.25 to win 13.75. I feel like it's enough said on Corey Connors. That's just his guy. I mentioned Tommy Fleetwood earlier, has fared pretty well at this tournament, except for that 1 year where he got cut. He has Tommy Fleetwood outright plus 5,500, 0.25 to win 13.75 as well. And then he's going to round it out with Sam Burns plus 4,600, 0.25 to win 11.5. So those are his outrights. And then he's going to go top 30s and 40s. So back to Sungjae M top 30 minus 135, 1 unit on that. Will Zalatoris top 30 minus 135, 1 unit on that. I actually do like the Will Zalatoris play this week, especially because we've had the first time winners the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
It's time.
Following that trend.
And then Corey Connors top 40, 1 unit on that. And Christian Bezuidenhout top 40, also 1 unit on that. So Pat's kind of going half top 30s and 40s and half winners. So I kind of
gotcha. My bet slips a little simpler. Obviously Keith Mitchell was my only win last week. I'll start with Christian Bezuidenhout top 40, same bet as Pat has, minus 105, 1 unit, 1.5 units. Played great here. You'll see it in my picks is all about course history and form. Poulter top 40 plus 160, 1 unit to win 1.6. Hasn't missed a cut here since 2011. Keith Mitchell top 30 plus 130, 1 unit to win 1.3. Playing great, and he's fishing the top 10 here a couple of times too. Then I will go with Rory and Rahm, both to finish top 20 plus 160. Rory's got amazing history, and Rahm, I feel like, is bound to bounce back after a bad week at Riv a couple weeks ago. Like he's gonna bounce back. It's a fact. Then I'll go a couple winners. Will Zalatoris to win plus 2,900.5 units to win 14.5, and Sungjae M to win 29 plus 2,900.5 units from 14.5. So
Yeah, I could be in real trouble this week if Sun J M wins.
yeah,
Just
that'd
based on
be
both of you having him, that would be a big swing on my
Sung JM. I need just to get one winner, just one good week, and I'm right back in this thing. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But I once I get one, like I'll be close to even, hopefully, and then we'll go from there.
yeah. So I do like all of our picks this week. I think last week Pat and I read off your picks and we weren't sure about a lot of them, like just reading them off.
After
down
I
20.
sent them in, like that Wednesday night of like before the tournament started, I'm like I hate these picks, like these.
Yeah, when you're down like 20 something units and you have Denny McCarthy top 10 and you're putting your faith in that, I was like, that's might not be the best pick.
I don't know what that's what I don't know what to do at this point. Like I have to pick like winners, but like I have to just like get like
I think you
safe.
just
Like
have to start. You have to start chipping away. Maybe
I do.
pick. I mean, if you take your shot at 4 winners, 0.25 units each on that, that still leaves you with 4 more units to kind of chip away.
That's what that's what
go for you.
I realize I'm doing that in top 40s.
Yeah,
and then
top 40s are money.
Yeah, I like top 40s, and then I like the Rom and Rory bet too.
Yeah, that's a good one. I didn't see that one, so that's
so I'm like literally like as you were like saying your picks, I was just looking on the website. I'm like, ooh, that's a juicy bet.
Yeah, I mean, they're bringing. I did my bets yesterday, so the nationality props didn't come in yet. I love those bets.
Oh, the nationality props, of course.
Yeah, top Australian, top South African. Well, Bazoo and how top South African this week plus 150. Yeah, so that'll round out the picks. Let's get in the clubhouse. Do we have anything this week inside the clubhouse? Not really. Pat and I did a part 3 last week, which was.
Oh no, let's make a pick for the who's gonna ruin the career.
Yeah. Who's gonna ruin the career at the Puerto Rico Open? Let's find the odds on that.
If I say someone's name and he ends up winning, I'll be so mad. Like I'll go with Josh Teeter.
Okay.
To win the Puerto Rico Open.
Random.
He's definitely a guy who'll win it, and he will not win again. So keep the streak alive.
I'll give 2 guys. I'm in between 2 guys, so I'll give 2 guys. Chase Seifert played well last week. I think he's plus 4,500. So
yeah,
Chase Seifert to ruin his career, and then also Kurt Kitayama played really well last week. He's a huge European Tour guy. Plays a lot of European Tour events. I think his home tour is a European Tour. He kind of finally made the jump over this year. Kurt Kitayama to win the Puerto Rico Open and then go back to Europe and only ever win on Europe and never in the US.
Apparently this guy, Josh Teeter, he's played in the Puerto Rico Open how many times? 5 times, 6 times. He's finished second in 2020. So
wow. I mean, is there anyone in here that's like, I don't think there's anyone really in here that I'm like, ooh, if he wins it, that won't be good. You know what I mean?
What do you mean that won't be good?
Victor Hovland, for example, Tony Finau, for example. There's no one in there that I'm like, oh, this guy's going to become a superstar and he's going to ruin his career because he's never going to be able to win. I don't really see any guys in there.
Bogard's not in there, thankfully. Joseph Bramlett's been playing well.
One of our guys.
Seifert played well. Sangmoon Bae is in the field.
Again. Yeah, but like I said, there's no superstars in the field. No. Like last year, I think Will Zalatoris was in this event, and I was like, Will Zalatoris better not win the Puerto Rico Open. Like,
imagine if Thigala was in this event and he won it. Like he just,
yeah, I mean, I think Thigala's in AP, so
he is. I saw his name over there.
Yeah, so no one really in the Puerto Rico that I'm too concerned about. I'm like, oh, if he wins that'll suck. You'll have a random winner there. So that's a good way to end the episode. Anything else?
Nothing else. Not that I can think of. I'm jealous of Patrick in Florida because I want.
I mean, he's in Florida, but he's like working like nonstop.
No, he's working, but it's like 85 degrees, and we went to Florida a month ago. It was 55 degrees.
I don't know what he was doing, but he was just roaming around the I think it was like
Yeah.
the 15th and the 16th on the golf course yesterday because he was just like waiting for his boss to be done or something like that. So in the dark, he was just roaming around the golf course.
I know there's something else.
Give me a rough review. Give me a review of the rough. And he said it was pretty thick. So don't be in the rough this week. And
Yeah.
with that, enjoy the Arnold Palmer Invitational. We'll see you next week.